On average, they would probably attend 4, maybe 6 PPTs or 504s that are out of district a month. What we're doing is we're pulling off some of the out-of-district PPTs off of the current director for special education, so that person can spend more time in district overseeing district programs and the special education department, and working with the shifts and changes and work that we want to do within that department. Gives the director a little bit more time in district and pulls a little bit of time away from this position. They will be the go-to person for 504 questions and oversight and professional development. So they have to have a background in 504s. They're not running 504s. Guidance counselors are running their 504s, but they need to be a person that is up to date in 504 expectations and the legal components to all of that. They will help to supervise the guidance department, 712. And they will help to supervise and evaluate in 712 special education teachers, support services personnel, and they'll help to run the in-district PPTs just as the assistant principal does now. All of the building administrators help to run PPTs now. This person will continue to do that as well. As far as a middle school assistant principal, they will deal with family and student issues on a daily basis, as they do now. And I have some data about what that might look like coming up. When they're not in district due to a PPT or a 504, the principal will address issues. Just like right now, if the assistant principal was stuck in an issue with the student and something else happens, the principal steps in. And they will help to supervise and evaluate 7th and 8th grade classroom teachers because they also have a role as a middle school assistant principal. And the middle school principal may have additional evaluations and will continue to help run PPTs. Can I run through a bunch of these slides to give you kind of the whole picture, and then we can come back to questions if that's okay? So as far as the question was around how many students are being seen by the administration at middle school and high school, I'm giving you only middle school data. It's the data that was most available, but it's also the data that I think is the most important right now. If you want the high school data, I can try to get that for you. This position is impacting the middle school assistant principal. The high school assistant principal that is having a reduction down to 196 days will still be here every day the students are here. It doesn't impact the amount of contact time during the school year. So this is the data right here around the middle school enrollment, how many 8th grade and 7th grade incidents we've had, and the total number of incidents in the year. Obviously 17-18 is still going on, so that number is still current. So, and as somebody who's been an assistant principal and been a principal on any given year, at any given time, the numbers will fluctuate for different reasons. You can see here, you have 559 students one year and only 136 incidents. Another year, you can have fewer students and have more incidents. It's very hard to predict, but there is information there around that. The next one talks about the number of administrators in the district in relation to the number of students. Dating back from 2012-13 all the way to present, and what is projected for the 18-19 school year. As you can see at the middle school, the number of students has been declining. There's a difference of actually 158 students from the, or 157 students from the beginning to where we are now, and same at the middle school, or same at the high school, excuse me, but yet we've had the same number of administrators in both buildings. I do believe that given the number of contact times with students, the declining enrollment numbers and their differences over time, that the splitting of the position at the middle school is something that is doable and can be adequately covered and very beneficial to the school system, providing support where they need to, and still providing support for the middle school students. I firmly believe that it is a viable recommendation to support special education differently, and we have been doing that, and then supporting all students as well. When we talk about the number, there was another question around evaluations and the impact on evaluations. This is just the current number of people that each of the administrators evaluates and the number of observations that got calculated to this year. Depending on what teacher an evaluator has on their caseload, it changes every year based on the number of evaluations you have to do formally or informally. So these observation numbers will change next year as teachers change and rotate into a different part of the evaluation cycle. So this year, this is the current data. The two highlighted in red are the two that you had questions about around the .5 curriculum director and the assistant principal. And at this point, what I would see is that the Carrie Ann Bell position, the middle school assistant principal, would probably have the same number, if not more, a few more to evaluate. Lauren Fearman's numbers would go down as that position would reduce, so those numbers would reduce some as far as the number from 25 down some. And Jen Hoffman, in her first year as the director of special education pupil services, we did not load her fully with evaluations because we knew that there were a lot of other things that we expected her to be able to be addressing. So that number would probably also go up for Jen as well as we're looking to even out numbers. I'll stop this one. There was also a question around how does this save money? And in looking at the pupil personnel information that is up there as far as the salary goes, the projected salary for next year. For pupil personnel supervisor, there isn't one now. I put it in a projected salary for that position, but it obviously has to still be negotiated with the union. The middle school principal, assistant principal, the special education department coordinators in 17-18, not in 18-19, and that's the difference in the numbers right there. I'm going to stop at through these slides. So it's primarily providing a variety of different points of data and reference that I have used in order to put forward the suggestion of this position of the pupil personnel supervisor / middle school assistant principal. No.
Yeah, sure. If there are, questions, Mr. Tremont, if you'd like to start, I think that with this tonight, I'm not sure that we would be voting on this tonight. I wouldn't expect that, but people, I think, probably have questions.
Sure.
Okay.
No question.
So Pat, were these already included in the first, so there's some changes from last week's proposal, or this is backup?
This is
It's all back
exactly
on.
what's been in the
Okay.
budget proposal.
Okay, all right.
So, my question is only because, I'm gonna say I'm just a parent. I'm not involved in school, I've never been a teacher. So on slide 4, where it gives you middle school students and the admins, and obviously the students you can see is decreasing. But does that really tell us that the topics and the situations that are coming up in the school, those could be increasing even though the students are decreasing? So that doesn't, to me, that gives a different picture to me than really understanding, the topics and our student opportunities that pop up from day to day and stuff like that. So that's just really a question on that. I don't know how you could, really say much about that, but I do see, yes, clearly students are declining. That doesn't really talk about the things that pop up from day to day.
And I think at least this is the slide that talks about the middle school assistant principal and actually a principal and assistant principal, the number of incidents that they're dealing with and how it fluctuates over time,
Right.
year to year.
Right.
And trying to kind of match the information from year to year to year for you. I think one of the other things is that we also offer a lot of other support services within the school in order to help address issues as they are coming up, because everything is not necessarily discipline-based always, but as you've talked about, needs-based.
And then on page 5, just want to make sure I'm clear. So the change on the top of page 5 is just really a $15,000 savings. Okay.
Sorry, can we get a calculation? Seems like the numbers are at 275, 79.
I'll have Jane check the numbers while we're taking questions.
No, that's it. Thank you.
I have one. So you say they would be out of the school for 4 to 6 times per month. Is that just on the 10-month schedule? So just when school was in session?
No, this position would be a 12-month position because we do also have PBTs and things that are going to happen over the summer.
Okay. So that would put them out of the school basically almost a third of the school year. 4 to 6 times per month times 12 is what, 90, somewhere around there. So based on the days. So, if you go by how many students we're seeing per day, that's a lot of kids for the principal to see as well. So if he wasn't available, who else would the kids be able to see?
So you're talking, so these are numbers of incidents by year.
Right.
And I cannot tell you that. I mean, I could probably get you a month-by-month breakdown, but.
No, that's
And-
close enough.
And I think on any given time, as a principal or assistant principal, you're either out of the building or tied up with something else, and you have other systems that you have in place. So if something is happening and the principal is tied up with a student, that student might need to deal with a guidance counselor or deal with somebody, a support services personnel like a social worker or the school psychologist until the principal is available. As a principal, you're always going to have to prioritize and see what's happening. You might be dealing with a relatively small incident and something larger happens. You need to let the small incident go and go deal with the larger incident. There's times when our administrators are out of professional development and things happen. Somebody has to respond to that. So we have systems in place that respond to that should that happen. And I think that we have pretty effective systems, and so that would be the anticipation of how we would deal with that, just like we do every day.
Yes.
Well, I guess I have a comment, and then my first thought is I get the fact that we have to think about things differently, and change is hard, and just try to visualize how things could be different. I guess with that being said, I'm struggling a little bit here because I'm hearing the rumblings that this couldn't possibly be done. This isn't realistic, and I don't want to set up the staff or the for some untenable situation where we're not supporting the system as we should, and just getting into a rough position. I'm not saying that I believe that we need extra support for the special ed department, and I am totally in support of that. I guess I'm in support for a full-time middle school assistant principal. I'm trying to get across my mind, we're just getting this information, obviously, so it's not thought through completely. But my understanding that cuts have to come from somewhere. And I appreciate the fact that you're trying to do things differently, and I just want to be clear that that the teams that are set up to be doing this are in support, that are in support of this plan, and that there's a team belief that this is doable, and we can make it work, and this is in the best interest of kids. So that's just, I guess, points to ponder.